Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope you all are doing well. So today we're going to study about another teaching methodology where teacher works as a facilitator, and the name is independent learning, as it is showing from in the name that it doesn't require the full attention of the teacher, but students are they're solely learning independently. So in independent learning, students are full in control of their learning, from choosing what they learn and how they learn to evaluate themselves. So evaluation also comes in students' hand, and the methodology, the way, the pathway that they want to follow is students' choice as well. The teacher can still be a part of this process, but their role changes to that of a facilitator. But teacher won't have a maximum participation in students' learning. That he or she is only going to facilitate, just look towards the progress, towards the pathway that student is following. They can support the student by giving them learning material and feedback on their progress. So the support a facilitator can give by providing loads of tools which obviously going to aid students, and the mandatory feedback on their learning procedure. Independent learning is as personalized and flexible as it gets. It gives learners full autonomy and freedom. Students are free to choose what sort of subject they're going to study and how they're going to study. On the other hand, it often lacks accountability and requires great self-motivation to go through with it. So, of course, students are learning independently. There is no one who gives extrinsic motivation. So students are supposed to have a motivation which is coming intrinsically. So this is one of the I wouldn't say advantage, a point that student needs to keep in mind, that a motivation should be intrinsically when studying independently. So independent learning is all about empowering students to take ownership of their learning, knowing how to learn and explore topics of interest is a skill that will serve your students a whole lifetime. So the topics, the subjects, the area, the disciplines where students feel comfortable, students are having a variety of maximum of their interests. So that skill is going to be improved by independent learning. So that was just an overview. We're going to dive deeper into what is independent learning exactly, and what are the ways and what are the advantages of independent learning. So, an independent learner has all the tools needed to take their learning into their own hands by investing in exploring new knowledge with lower involvement from an instructor or institution. As we have already discussed, that facilitator is only going to facilitate, is only going to provide facilitation, not going to involved in the student's process, learning process. All right. Now, with independent learning, students do their own research and ask questions rather than relying solely on the materials that their teacher or instructor hands them. So they have a sense of exploring. They have an idea that they need to find out answers. They are not going to rely totally on the other people's opinion or other people's knowledge that they have given. They're going to search for themselves. They also take ownership of their educational path by setting their own goals and monitoring their progress. So they're going to evaluate then what areas they have covered, what other areas they're supposed to work on. So, needlessly to say, this type of student-centric learning gained a lot of traction with the popularization of the internet and experienced exponential growth during the COVID pandemic. So, what happens? They are saying that because of the COVID pandemic, so students are taking their studies seriously, more of their own job rather than other people's job to come in to facilitate them, to teach them solely their own they're shifting their horizon toward teacher centered approach, towards student centric learning. So they're taking care of their own studies, they're becoming more independent. Now, main benefits, there are few benefits: boosted students motivation and confidence, of course, yes. And the confidence, of course, is going to boost it up. Improved student performance, better understanding of the students own strengths and weaks, that means in which disciplines they're good and in which disciplines they need assistance. So they're going to have the idea about this, and freeing teacher time to concentrate on different tasks and remediation. So of course, teacher is not someone who's always going to be on students' head all the time. So it is going to save teachers time as well, and the efficiency of the work is also going to be improved by feedback provided by the teacher. So these four benefits are the direct result of the independent learners having a long-term view and feeling in control of their academic itinerary. So why it is important learning? Why is independent learning so important? So it's important to encourage students become independent learners. A lifelong learner, maybe, yes, of course, a lifelong learner, because it will have direct repercussions on their academic performance, as discussed in the previous section. But independent learning also aims the students with soft skills that will help them to be more successful in the other areas of life. So they have a better time management, proactivity and initiation. They are free to initiate. Nobody is going to tell you that you need to shift. Um, you need to just start working on the other subject, on the other assignment that you have been given. So they're also going to be responsible about that, the organization and the discipline skill, that okay, 1 hour is allotted to this subject, and then I'm going to allot 1 hour on this assignment. The writing task is also coming along. So these are the things that students are going to learn from the independent learning, which are very important for everyday life. So, what are the key elements and strategies of independent learning? Of course, can't work in a teacher-centric environment. Of course, it is solely a student-centered approach. Obviously, the first key element is enabling independent learning is the shift to a student-centric environment where students get a higher level understanding of their learning. One of the teacher's new responsibilities here is to help students structure their learning environment and turn the class into a community of independent learners. Of course, there won't be a classroom where students are. Of course, independent learning is a good thing, but time to time, if you're going to shift, if you're going to just ask them to have an activity of a think pair share, of course, it is going to benefit all of them, all other kids. Okay, so you need to make sure that on this entire classroom is turning into independent learners, the entire community. Okay, now a second key element of independent learning is self-regulation. Students are in control of their own planning, pacing and evaluation. Pacing, that means how fast and how slow they're going, the evaluation, the feedback they're giving, the feedback they're receiving. Okay, how they're planning out the timetable they're preparing for their learning. Self-regulation also includes self-motivation. Okay, so they're motivated enough intrinsically to get it going. A third and the last key element we'll discuss is the role of a teacher as an enabler. Independent learning requires a strong student teacher relationship with a higher level of trust. The teacher must adapt their approach to deadline, ensure access to relevant resources, and maintain open communication about tasks and student progress. Of course, teacher again plays a very major role, whether it is not a student-centered approach or whether it's solely a student-centered approach. So it is going to be teachers' responsibility to have an open communication, to students remind of their progress, to evaluate them, to tell them about the relevant resources that are very mandatory for their learning process. Now, 8 ways you can help your students become independent learners. In this section, we share some ideas on how to get your students into the right mindset and give them a mind map in their independent learning trajectory. So of course you need to inspire them, you need to motivate them, the first and the foremost thing. Okay, show them the WIFM, what's in it for me, what is the learning. You can even introduce the objectives of the specific topic, of the specific area, so that they're motivated enough. Okay, I'm going to study about this thing, I'll be familiar with this thing, and I can apply this learning into my real life experience. So peer support and feeling of community are strong motivators. So peer support, the students were around all the students in the classroom. It is very important to have a healthy environment and feeling of community. Okay, evaluate where they currently stand and where they aspire to be. Okay, so their progress. Okay, the area where they are present right now, to know where you're going and to know how to get there. You first need to understand where you currently are. Help the students identify their strengths and weaknesses regarding the course topic. Ask them to formulate clear goals and attainable year challenges. So teach them about SMART goals. Okay, teach them about the goals, how they're going to be achieved, what time, how much time it is going to be required for them. So it is a very good technique to apply. Help them become women with with the plan. Now that they know where they stand and where they want to be, they should now be able to work out on a learning plan to help them get there. Okay, suggest specific resources to include in their learning plan. Of course you're going to give suggestions, some advices, some helpful insights. Obviously you should also involve students in your lesson planning. Okay, that's a very good point. You can also take help from the students. They have beautiful and very worth writing down ideas. Give a crash course on time management. Part of the learning plan should be a schedule that's optimized for the students' learning pace, other activities, optimal learning, working times, etc. Ask them to read a book, for example, related to a time management, so that they can regulate their own learning. All right, now we have the fifth one: create structure and routine. Students can allow themselves to learn more independently in a framework and routine that gives them the space to do so. Okay, you have to provide them a clear structure and a routine so that they can exactly know where, at what time, and at what schedule they're supposed to study. Help them improve their questioning skills. Okay, and then enable online discussions and collaborations. Make sure to include group-based tasks and activities so students can have ample opportunities. Of course, this is a very good technique. I solely believe as a teacher that you need to have at least a pair and share technique in the classroom, a group activity, so that they can easily share their ideas, their wisdom with other students, and other students can also get benefit from each other, create online forums for the discussions, and collaborate and support. Yes, so these are the things, and we have eighth one as well. Give them tools to track their progress. Again, the resources that are very mandatory, according to you, and the worksheet that is going, of course, going to assess their learning procedure, the questionnaire they're going to fill in to check their study, the evaluation, the tools. These are the things that a teacher is most responsible for. And then, what skills do students need to become independent learners? Cognitive skills: thinking, reading, learning, memorizing, reasoning, paying attention, independent learning, problem solving, a sense of classification, and logical reasoning. These are the skills that are very important. And then, if we talk about the meta cognitive skills, that underlying strategies that students apply to perform the cognitive skills listed above. Obviously, mega cognitive skills are needed to monitor one's own progress and self assess. Okay, now affective skills are very important. So, yeah, these pertain to individual interests, values, and attitudes and help on manage their feelings. Affective skills will help the students to motivate. So, more likely, this is all about independent learning. We have already discussed all the benefits, all the things, all the basically a pathway. You can a pathway where students can get a very good um, insights, and the goals will be, of course, fulfilled by following these things. um, as a teacher, you need to provide resources, you need to be there for the students if they need assistance, but you need to give them a chance to be an independent learner, to experiment, to search, to explore. I hope everything is clear to you about independent learning. If you have any question regarding this, you can ask me in the comment section. Allah Hafiz.